What's going on, guys? Mecha Ish here from WWE Elite Series 43. I got Samoa Joe. Let's do it. Welcome back, guys, to another WWE action figure review, and I have this awesome figure from NXT from WWE Elite Series 43. We got Samoa Joe, and as you can see right there on the box, first time in the line. Now this is so cool, and I've been a huge fan of Samoa Joe for many years, especially while he was in TNA, and this is so exciting that he's finally now in NXT. You know he's going to be called up to the main roster soon, and he had that epic match at NXT Takeover Brooklyn against Shinsuke Nakamura, who I also cannot wait for an action figure of. But let's talk about your standard window box packaging. You got highly detailed action figure. You got the NXT logo on the top left because currently he is still in NXT, has not been called up to the main roster yet. You can see right here a great window view of Samoa Joe with his towel. You got his Samoa Joe SoCal t-shirt. Again, first time in the line. You got his name sliding down the side of this packaging. And then you have the WWE Elite Collection. NXT Samoa Joe, nice picture there of Samoa Joe. And then you got the same thing on the other side. Now towards the back, you have a little bit of a bio for those of you that are unaware of Samoa Joe. NXT Samoa Joe, he is 6 feet 2 inches tall. He weighs in at 282 pounds. His muscle buster is his awesome finishing move. He is from Huntington Beach, California, and career highlights, it says 2015 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winner, which he won with Finn Balor. And at the bottom, you have other superstars in this lineup. All right, let's take this Samoa Joe outside of this box, and let's see what he's all about. So here is Samoa Joe outside of his packaging, and he stands at almost 6 3/4 inches in height. These WWE figures are in the 7-inch scale. You can see he comes with his towel, his t-shirt, and a whole lot of bad attitude. Now let's take a closer look at Samoa Joe. Now this figure has such a great likeness to the Samoa Joe that we see in NXT on a weekly basis. This is awesome. I mean, you know they do that 3D scanning, but not all of the WWE figures come out the way they're supposed to look. I have, and my son has, a whole bunch of figures that do not look like the superstars they are supposed to be representing. But this Samoa Joe is spot on. I mean, take a look at that scowl. You got his mean mug. Great job. Even the lines by his forehead. You know he got a big dome. And this is awesome. Even got that little wrinkle on the top of his forehead. And I love how they did the sculpt work of his eyes. And great job with all of the paint applications here. You can even see a little bit of a smirk on Samoa Joe's face, where the left side of his mouth is raised just a little bit, as is his soul patch and the beard that follows. Now he has these mutton chops on both sides of his face, and they did a great job because it's actually sculpted in. Now the paint application could have been a little bit cleaner, but I love the consistency with the texture detail by his mutton chops all the way to the top of his hair. And look how great they did the hair. I mean, look at all that detail going all the way around and on the top of his head. This is awesome. And look at that side profile even. Tell me that doesn't look like Samoa Joe. And as you already know, he comes with this nice towel that is in a very soft and flexible plastic. I mean, look how pliable this is. But they did a great job with all of the line work, and it looks so awesome. And it goes right around his neck. But I'm going to put it away for now and show you this awesome shirt. This is Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe Submission Specialist SoCal. Again, he's from Huntington Beach, California. And it's a very soft fabric. And if you've been collecting the WWE Elite figures, they come with a lot of awesome accessories, including some soft goods like this. Now, there's Velcro in the back here that you can just rip apart and then slide right off his arms, so you can see this amazing body of Samoa Joe. I think Mattel did an amazing job with the spot-on likeness of his body, just like what they did with the head. I mean, great job, because Samoa Joe is not known as a body guy. He is not built and has muscles everywhere like, say, Ryback did, but he has his own look. And I don't think I've seen any other Elite figure or any other WWE figure with this kind of body mold. I mean, take a look at the way they sculpted the chest. You can see he has some muscles there, but it's not too muscular. He even has a little bit of flab sculpted in there. And Samoa Joe has thinned down a lot, you know, since his TNA days, and he looks great now, but he is not ripped, you know, he's not shredded. But you do see some of that musculature put in there, and you can see he does have a little bit of a belly, but he is also kind of thin as well, if that makes any sense. So he looks great. I am loving this figure. I think Samoa Joe is so unique in his body, the way he wrestles, everything, and this figure is really representing that very well. Now the arms, on the other hand, we've seen that many times before. You just got your plain shoulders here, and you got the same muscular arms that we've seen on many other figures with the forearms. You got the wrist tape, and then you have his hands that are open and ready to grapple. Now on his left arm, he has a little bit more of the white on his wrist wrap, but then he has a bunch of white on his fist here. Now I wish they would have actually made it look like wrapping, maybe drew in some lines to outline the wrapping wrapped around his hand, but it's not too bad. And you can see the paint applications aren't the best because you got a little chippage right there at the top of his hand. But these WWE figures, I don't expect great paint applications because you are just gonna wrestle the other figures in your collection. You're gonna beat them up and then they're gonna get chipped anyway. Now we get down to Samoa Joe's shorts. He's always with the red and the black and great sculpted detail. You can see all of the creases, and I love how the elastic band is sculpted as well around his waist. And this is another reason why I feel this body mold hasn't been used in any WWE figure. I mean, I really don't see this body mold or the way this elastic band is sculpted in on any other figure that my son has, at least. So if there is any, guys, please let me know. Now the red and the black are painted very well, and great separation right there at the seam between that black and red, and the same goes for the back. And you have your typical style Muay Thai shorts here with the cut on the sides, which look very cool. Now we have the flesh tone paint that then leads into the black of his knee pads and his boots. Now on TV, I really like the look of his knee pads because it's kind of a brace mixed in with the knee pads, so he gets that support and protection for his knees. Now here you don't really see how cool that looks because it's just kind of just blobbed all over with the black paint. Here you can see kind of that padding, and they did a great job painting his flesh tone paint within that circle of his knee pad. On the other hand, why is his flesh tone paint on top of the knee pad in this one and his knees all in black? And then you go down to his boots, which are pretty standard, and we've seen them a bunch of times before. So overall, some minor issues with the paint, but I do love that the flesh tone paint matches throughout, and that the sculpt of this Samoa Joe is such a great likeness to the way he appears on TV. Now the head rotates the full 360, and he can raise up a little bit and look down a little bit as well. We have a great rotation here at the shoulder and a nice hinge so he can extend his arm all the way up and then go down like that. We got a bicep swivel. We have a single jointed elbow. We have a rotation at the wrist and a hinge at the wrist. Now Joe has an ab crunch here. As you can see, I can arch the back just a little bit, and going down, you see this sculpted in line. It stops right there. So unfortunately, Joe's belly's getting in the way, but I do like how they have that sculpted in detail there, so it gives him quite a little bit of musculature, but it does limit his range of motion. We do have a waist swivel that goes the full 360, and he has a hip joint so he can extend his leg sideways a good amount. To the back, not so much. To the front, he can kick up about that high. He has a thigh cut rotation, and he also has a double jointed knee, as you can see by the hinge at the bottom and the top of his knee. Unfortunately, his calf hits the bottom sculpt of his shorts, so that limits his range of motion significantly. We do have a boot cut rotation, and then we have a hinge at the ankle. He has this very stiff ankle joint, which allows his foot to go all the way back like that, and then flex it about that far upward. Now, it's a very stiff joint, and I thought I was going to break it, so just be very careful. And we do have a little bit of an ankle rocker right there, so we should be able to get the Samoa Joe in a bunch of awesome poses. There you have it, guys, my video review of the WWE Elite Series 43 Samoa Joe, and I'm doing my best to get him to get a muscle buster on Finn Balor, but there you go. So as you guys can tell, the WWE Elite figures have nice articulation. I just wish it was a lot better, especially in the abs and the hip joints. I mean, I was trying really hard for a muscle buster on Finn Balor, but unfortunately, because of the limited range of motion on the ab crunch and his hip joint, it just looked like a gigantic suplex. So hopefully down the line, Mattel improves their articulation, because nothing is better than posing the figures the way you see them on TV. But I'm still so happy to have this Samoa Joe actually in my son's collection because he already took it from me, but I'm happy nonetheless. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a thumbs up and check out my channel for other reviews I've done, and I have so many cool things coming your way, so make sure you all like, subscribe, comment, and share. You know what to do. Peace. Psh.